Deadair Hardcore Radio, exploring the world's best hardcore punk and all the various subgenres. For the next 2 hours we will enter a world apart from the rest. The time is now.
Stand to the side, be by the mic right.
How can you save me when you can't save yourself? Ready to fight!
Yo, what's up with that? Let's start jamming.
I'll show you how it feels.
Welcome to episode 81 of Dead Air, 2 hours of hardcore radio. I don't even know how many times I've used the Slipknot instrumentals as bed music for the show, but I promise you this is going to be at least the last time for a year. I'm going to try to shelf this. I kind of have new metal thoughts right now, and some new metal things to talk about. So that's why I was like, fuck it, let's just go with the Slipknot. But yeah, for originality's sake, and for just the sake of the regular Dead Air listener, I will shelf Slipknot instrumentals. So for episode 81, this week we'll be talking to Dennis from a band called Iron Price. They're on Upstate Records. They have a record out titled Big Coffin Hunters, which we'll discuss the name, because as much as I am cool with the music, I don't like that fucking name as a record, and we'll discuss that, and we'll just be honest. If you have seen Dennis on the internet, his internet presence is that of your regular shit poster. So this could go, this could be entertaining or go down in flames real fast. I've heard past interviews where this has lost the interview will lose control very fast. So, say a little prayer for me. Who knows how this is gonna fucking go down, but I was interested, so here we go. So music-wise, I think it was it last episode? I believe, man, I don't remember. One of the last 2 episodes I talked about, I think it was 2 episodes ago, yeah. We talked about the show with Higher Power, Drain, Take Offense, and more, and a few other bands at Vera Project. Also, a quick sidebar from the Vera Project. I'm super pumped that I work in the radio station right next to the Vera Project. So and I start at midnight, and most shows at Vera Project end between 11 and 11:30. So literally, this is perfect for any time I get to go. I want to go to a Vera Project show. I can end the show, go get some food at the Metro Market, and then walk and start my shift. which is going to be amazing for future Fair Project shows. I think the next one is Sanction in like a month. But let's rewind it a little bit. We're talking about Drain. Talked about them a couple weeks ago and their set, and talked with Sammy a little bit about I'm going to sit down with him. They're going to be back. They're going to have another tour that's going to reach the West Coast in just a few months from now, and that'll be announced at some point. But their new record has officially been announced as of this week. The California Cursed LP will be officially on Revelation Records on April 10th. They put out a new song called Sick One that you just heard. It's a quick one, little under a minute, but that's what I like to fucking hear, dude. Like, that is great song length for anything that's fast, hardcore, and metal influenced and thrash influenced like Drain is. And the vocals, Sammy's vocals are just so fucking good. They've since I've seen them, I think the first time I saw them was 2017. My band played with them at one point, and it was so cool. Like, I've talked over and over again about how Sammy's the nicest dude. This is on track with the California Cursed promo that they had earlier last year, which it was fucking great. So this tracks with just with the sound from the previous promo, as well as just the recording style. And if everything goes like this single, then it's going to be a great LP, and I will buy that shit right away, because that might be, it could be one of my favorites of this year. So look forward to more Drain talk on Dead Air, because we're a Drain show. We're all behind. I am 100% behind what Drain does, and probably hear some more songs as they come out. And like I said, we'll talk to Sammy and the band a few months from now, a little bit after the record is released, and when they go on their next tour for it. So, as usual, we'll go down the line. I guess it's that time to talk a little bit about Dead Air before we dive into the next couple songs. So, give us a follow on Spotify if you can. If you're listening on Spotify, we're also on Anchor FM. Soon to be more. I gotta, like I said a little bit about my work schedule. It's changed a little bit, so I'm working on that, and we'll hopefully have it on. The main goal is to have this shit on Apple Podcasts within the next couple weeks, as well as all the other places that are important as well. And just as important and a little more important is our live shows. Please support the radio stations that play us. Go to deadairhardcoreradio.com for all the information. There's up to 5 places you can hear us live all over the interwebs, from anywhere from broadcasting out of Tacoma, Las Vegas, Canada, the UK. It's all over the place, and thank you for all the stations that do support us. Like I said, go to the tab where it says places to listen to us, and give us a live listen, because that's your first. If you want to hear this show before it gets podcasted, those are the places that play it first. So you can hear this show before it gets uploaded multiple places throughout the week. So that's your first listen to Dead Air. So I highly suggest that you do that. So, anything else? I'm trying to think. Is there anything else important on the docket? Nah. My brain is a little bit fried. I can't tell if I have seasonal allergies or I'm just like getting sick, but we'll see. So, up next, we're going to play some new music from Orthodox. See, there's that fucking beep. The ding, not a beep, a ding. So somebody in the studio has their tab open. I want to close that after we play this next song, but that's fucking annoying. I closed out one person's tab, so somebody else's tab from another show in the studio, it just has it wide open. So something's going off. So fuck you. I don't know who you are. If it's my boss, I'm sorry, but still, come on. Let's get this shit together. We all share a goddamn computer. We gotta get our shows done. We don't want no goddamn dinging. All right, Orthodox, new music from them on Unbeaten Records. Just came out. Album titled "Let It Take Its Course." We're gonna play "Look at Me." Very new metal, extremely new metal. Not as I will have to go back and listen to some more Orthodox, but I'm like, I'm not. I don't remember it being as new metal as this. It was definitely heavy hardcore, and I really did like the last record. This is I really like the vocals, and it definitely tracks vocally, but it's different. It's definitely different. Like I said, there's a lot of Korn and Slipknot vibes. In one of the videos, dude definitely wears a Slipknot shirt, and I think as I listen to this might be me getting older, but I think this might be where new metal might end for me. This is good and it tracks and sonically, but I think I am over new metal completely, and I do not want to hear it personally after this in any other hardcore bands or any other metal bands, just because of how much it has been saturated. I forget what the other the dudes in Drown did a project. What is it? Oh, Sentence to Burn. Yes, Sentence to Burn. That I liked that, but I think that's where it started to wear out on me, where that sounded so much like Slipknot, and I don't know where else you could possibly go with it. I also really liked the Drown music before they went on the new metal, and but I was very appreciative of what they were, of how good they did it. And this is Orthodox is still doing their own thing. This is also kind of reminiscent vocally of what is it? There's another band that kind of did the same track, King 1810. They definitely sound more butt rocky now, but their first stuff definitely had the first like 6-7 years ago, like real Slipknot worship that I hadn't heard before, and now most bands have had their fill of new metal and Slipknot worship, which is completely fine, because I know a lot, as of people my age and younger, I feel like I think anyone from 35 to 20, like that 15-year radius, has kind of that's a little bit of their window of listening to. That was a big part. I think I'm going to be doing a episode on another person's show, just talk about my personal journey, but my personal journey was a hodgepodge getting into music. I listened to a lot of things at the same time, and it was a very confusing time musically for me. But being it as a very accessible genre for heavy music at the time, I definitely latched onto a lot of nu metal, and a lot of people at the time were very accepting of nu metal because of bands kind of like Linkin Park, who kind of made it a more commercially acceptable product, and then it was easier to get into other bands at the time, such as like what happened with pop punk and post hardcore. That's how I feel like a lot of people did get into their heavier music, and sometimes found the other lanes of hardcore, and some people have wanted to bring it back. I personally did the same thing. I was in a band. If you really want to know what that band was, message me. I talked about it a long time ago. I think I might have messaged it. I mentioned it a little bit in a past episode, but Deadair, nwcz@gmail.com is for questions, comments, concerns. Also, that's submissions as well. But I got in on a little bit of it, the nu metal worship, but for me personally, it's got into hardcore, it's got into contemporary, post-hardcore, metalcore, kind of the Warped Tour, metalcore style of music. It is seeped in. There was a band I almost played today, but it was just confusing, like how I felt like where it fit in the world of hardcore. And I might do this band on a separate episode outside of the regular program. We'll see. So, Orthodox, look at me. We're gonna play that in a second. One more nu metal note. Shout out to anyone who had fun. It looked like a lot of fun at LDB Fest. By the time you listen to this, it will be anywhere from a few days to even a week since the festival had passed. So if you are in the Louisville area, I would definitely check it out. Or if it's easy for you to make it there, maybe it's a cheap plane ride, or you have friends that are carpooling and you have the time and the money to make it out, please do. I think it's a really cool thing, especially for all the new bands. One thing I wanted to talk on, and you'll see it on our Facebook, facebook.com/deadairhardcoreradio. There's the video of Face Wreck. The vocalist is doing the set on rollerblades, and that's the part of nu metal that's fun. We played it. Check out, I believe it's our first episode of the year, and if you're Spotify or one of our podcast listeners, it's the first one that's available for streaming. That's just, oh man, that's just so much. That's so much fun. I liked where if Face Wreck is doing it or another band is doing it for fun, I like where they're taking nu metal, because it's just taking it to a very silly place and a silly aesthetic. Because just down to the root of it, it's pretty fucking silly. If it came out around this time, listening to a lot of the bands I've already listened to, it's just I can't get behind it as much. It has to be done a certain way, and that way is it's just fun. Check out Face Wreck if you haven't checked it out. And I admittedly was a rollerblader. My friend Rob was giving me shit for it, but at the same time, we were talking about our mutual love for the game Aggressive Inline. but at the same time, people don't want to fucking admit that they let. I need to get the vocalist of Face Wreck on the show for sure, because I think we'd have a really good time talking about shit. It was he's talking about being in I think it was Big Daddy where they were where Adam Sandler was tripping people with the fucking tripping rollerbladers with the sticks and shit. But at the same time we were talking about how much we love aggressive inline. Stop fucking dinging. Thing was dinging again. Aggressive inline, I freaking love that game. I have it on PS2, and I just love the alt style soundtrack is fantastic. We're talking about there's like some Hoobastank song. There's a Hoobastank song that's dope on there. You got some POD. You got some really good like early '90s hip hop as well, with Eric B. and Rakim with Sweat the Technique. I think the only other like punk-ish song is there's a Vandal song, but it wasn't a very good Vandal song from what I remember. Is a very short soundtrack compared to like the Tony Hawk stuff. So I'll have to sit down and do some more talks on that. But look at the video on our Facebook, facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio. It's Focus Face Wreck rollerblading around doing a song. I'm just like, I love that. That is the fun of hardcore shows, and that is the fun of new metal. Not take in stuff to not be taken seriously. It's great. Can't wait. I'll always play a Face Wreck track when it gets dropped. But we've done enough talking. Let's get to rocking. Check out Orthodox. Look at Me. We're going to play that right now. Let us know what you feel about the new Orthodox single. We'll be back. You're listening to Dead Air, 2 hours of hardcore radio.
That I've seen.
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Deadair Mashup telling you to check out the brand new Deadair website now. Go to deadair81.com for all podcasted shows as well as news, reviews, and content you can't get anywhere else. Go now or feel the wrath of my cold, hard robotic legs spin kicking you straight in the face.
Come on,
back. I'm tired as fuck. I wanted to get one of the summer watermelon Red Bulls, but I'm stuck with the orange instead. I know for a fact in my mind that there are some Red Bulls that, at least personally, don't do shit for me. And I'm not, and like specifically the blue one. The blue one is good. It's good tasting, but it literally, I don't think has ever helped me when I'm super tired. But yeah, like I said, schedule. I'm still figuring out this schedule thing. I finally, like I said, got on a hard schedule at work, ish, but things has been changing so rapidly that it's hard to keep up. But that's enough because y'all don't want to fucking hear that. So after the Orthodox track, we played new music from a band called Saigon Terror, a band recently signed to Triple B Records from Japan. They have an LP that just dropped titled the Anatomy of Saigon LP. Like I said, out now. If you like thrash and death metal heavily in your hardcore, almost pretty much oversaturated, it's thrash and death with a splash of hardcore, specifically in vocals, and then just some of the delivery in the song, but otherwise good, perfect fit for Triple B. Cool to get as much international love on that record label as possible. It's for as far as like music videos are concerned, I haven't seen like, as far as a Triple B band, and this might be just my ignorance and not, I don't go out and look and consume many music videos at all for any genre of music anymore. I don't take the time. Music videos have always been, like, for me, not the most important thing. Back when I used to consume a lot of music, I had the music video like apps on, like Yahoo Launch Music. I just have that literally play as background because it would continually play kind of like a radio or like a playlist, and you didn't have to. It would have not that many commercials, so I wouldn't really have to pay for it. And only thing was, there were a lot of music. The music videos had a lot of random shit in it. There's a lot of music videos that I just pressed play, but I never knew what they actually looked like. So, and as far as hardcore music videos, we kind of always know, for people who have been listening to hardcore, consuming hardcore for years, know that the history of hardcore music videos is an interesting one. Some are cool, some are just stationary and whatever. Take video. Some of them are just random show shots, black and white, people walking around a city, or stationary at one location, and just a lot of like a good, or like kind of like Harm's Way or Sect, where they their videos are kind of in one location, and it's very well done, good video and cool close-ups, but there's not really anything going on in the video. And I feel like that might be the same for most like heavy music too, outside of the hardcore genre, for just metal in general. So it's like sometimes hard to be creative. But as far as what Saigon Terror did for a music video, first of all, it caught my attention because Triple B doesn't have that. I don't see many videos from Triple B bands. And second, it's just cool, like, because it's from a show perspective. it was minimum effort from what I've seen, which is cool because they just wanted to get videos from a show of people hanging out, and it's cool from this side of the world to just kind of observe, on hardcore from another part of the world. And I feel like for a U.S. listener who likes hardcore and metal, like, I think that's the best thing. I like getting what they feel like they want us to see, or what they experience on a daily basis, or on a on their basis of show going. So check out Saigon Terror. We played the track Necronomicon. There's a music video out for it, and the Anatomy of Saigon LP is out now. After that, we played... Am I good on the music? Yeah, I'm good on music. I'm just making sure my bed music doesn't do the normal bed music thing and try to fuck me over. So after Saigon Terror, we played a track from The Annihilated. We played the track National Anthem. A comment in the Bandcamp section, in the comment section of their Bandcamp, perfectly describes how I feel. D-beat mofos that put chords together well. Yeah, it's good. It's angry, fucking fast ripping, D-beat inspired hardcore. Track National Anthem. It's pretty clearly conveyed. It's not really indecipherable, super fast D-beat in the way like you couldn't hear. You could definitely make out most of the song, and says the words nationalism over and over and over again. And you could kind of see where it's going with it. It's just kind of anti nationalist music, which is cool. One of the lyrics says, "Ignorance is sweet bliss, reprogrammed by right-wing shit." The only I guess bone I have to pick with that is just I talk about it too. If you listen to me on the other shows, I'm not into kind of bipartisan shit. I see just as much fault on both sides of the coin that we decided to lift up these two sides to the highest level in our country. And I don't know, I guess a lot of us feel like we have to pick a side when that's not 100% true. And if you look at the media basis of both of these sides, it's a lot more similar than it is different. I know growing up with a family that's mainly right wing, like seeing both sides, it's definitely something to make you be like, I don't want to buy into any of this. So, but on the other hand, I'm not the most political, and I am not the most educated by any means. But and so I do agree that a lot of people have been brainwashed by right-wing propaganda, but I feel like there's a lot of other things out there that people have been brainwashed by, just in general, with just general media consumption. So, take what I say with a grain of salt. That's just my opinion. I definitely don't disagree, but I think there's obviously more to the story. Also, I'm not looking into every single song that this band has done, so I could be this is just my critique from one lyric of one song. So that's just, I just felt like I wanted to say that, and that's, you know, because if this is the only song that they have that's super over political, that's how I feel. They might have other songs that kind of tie all, you know, themes of this bullshit life together, but who knows? There's 5 tracks. If you like what you heard, check out The Annihilated. After that, we played a track that I found just kind of perusing the message boards. Some new music that just came out this month, just a few days ago. A demo 2020 from a band called On Hooks from, I believe it's Slidell or Slidell, Louisiana. I'm not 100% sure. So look, this is another thing that going back to a very kind of death metal tinged early 90s style vocals. Very, I would say, nice death metal inspired with metalcore. You can really hear the metalcore undertones so much that they're almost not undertones. It's hard for me to kind of explain, but I definitely hear, like, for the vocals, some early Carcass going in on there, but there's definitely, you can hear a theme of metalcore in this demo. It's only 2 songs. Check it out. You can download it for free. So we're going to get to our interview in just a minute. But first, one more song. We had a, what are they called? Submission. We had a submission to our Instagram. Quick plug for all submissions. You can submit music if you're a label, a band, or you just want, or you have a friend who's in a band who's like, who you really want, you know, people to listen to, and, you know, maybe your friend's band is good, but they're just bad at PR and shit, which is a very common tale. Like, I know some real good bands that are real bad at at promoting their shit, and they're just like, they're getting along, basically moving along just by hype and their friends' help alone. So that does happen. So any submissions can go to, first of all, the best one is deadairnwcz@gmail.com. I check the emails daily. Sometimes it takes maybe a couple days to get back because I am pretty damn busy, but I do get back. Other ways are facebook.com/deadairhardcoreradio. Leave me a message. You can even leave me a comment if you don't mind. You know, that public. I check it no matter what. Also, Twitter and Instagram @deadairnwcz is another good way. I check everything. I sometimes don't post on the Twitter, but I definitely always check it. I'm just it's hard for me to get in to really get back into Twitter. Either I don't know what will happen. We'll see what the future holds. So, moving on from that, we did get a submission on our Instagram from a band called Secret Society. One of the members was in a band called Payback, not to be confused with the Payback XXX that we have played a couple episodes back. This was a Payback from Washington, D.C. that was sending us stuff for quite some time when we started out here in Tacoma a couple years ago. They also got a track on our Dead Air compilation, which you can go to Bandcamp and go and type in Dead Air Compilation Volume 1. You can also go to deadairhardcoreradio.com. Check that out as well. Man, so much fucking plugging, man. I'm so sorry. Make sure my music doesn't. Hey. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Sorry. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Okay, so yeah, had a submission from Secret Society, members of the Washington D.C. Payback, who was on a compilation on Bandcamp, Dead Air compilation Volume 1. Check it out on. You can go to our website, deadairhardcoreradio.com. It's on there. So I'm hoping to do another compilation very soon. But you can check out some tracks from Payback there. But this is a new band. From what I've heard, there's been a lot of passing members and other, not pass it, like another. Let me get the fucking thing up. There's been a lot of members, a lot of shared members from past bands in this band. So I'm just gonna go from the ones that are. There's a ton. Some of them are pretty well known. Some of them are not. So this band has had members that have been in Next Step Up, Dog Eat Dog, Diecast, TUI. Darkest Hour, and more. So, as well as like Washington D.C. probably shared a lot with a lot of bands coming in and out of just the East Coast area in general. Definitely a hard metal and punk hybrid style of hardcore band. We're going to play Tree of Life, the third track. They recently, I think, one of their tracks just got a video on the Hardcore Worldwide network on YouTube, so you can check that out as well. So we're going to play this track and then get to Dennis of Iron Price just a few minutes. You listen to Dead Air, 2 hours of hardcore radio.
Under the tree of life lies buried the hopes and dreams of countless souls who swept away, living in torment as a result of original sin. Cast down by a jealous creator and meant to suffer by the father of lies. Cast down by a jealous creator and meant to suffer by the father of lies. 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 What did we do to deserve this fate? What did we do? What did we do to deserve this fate? Held down by the forces of hate. 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 Nourished by the forbidden fruit, with full knowledge of the crimes you committed, we disavow you and we call for your ouster. To see you fall is our hopes and dreams. Drag down to our level, I'll see you buried under the tree of life. Drag down to our level, I'll see you buried under the tree of life. 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 Deserve this fate? What did we do? What did we do to deserve this fate? Held down by the forces of hate. 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 How's it feel to experience pain? How's it feel under the tree of life?
Yeah, it said you were unreachable, and I was like, that never happens. I was like, how do you become unreachable? Like,
Leave it to me, man. Dude, you're right. This is crystal clear.
yeah, and you are now in crystal clear HD. This is how I usually like to do my interviews, but sometimes
Right.
I know there's like people who just have just regular phones, so I don't like to I'll
I
accommodate in
didn't
that
know
way.
you could even do this until like a month ago.
What?
Like I just had my phone in my hand, and all of a sudden it said like you got an incoming call from Facebook. I was like, what the shit?
For
I got
what?
all paranoid. I thought Russians were coming after me. But no, yeah, Fago, you couldn't find it here on the East Coast until ICP came around. Then it started making its way closer to the coast, but you used to have to go to like Western Pennsylvania to get that shit.
Yeah. So just to preface, because all that honestly, I listened back, it was unintelligible. Like so we'll go back. On the earlier call, I called Dennis a juggalo, and then he told me to fuck off. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop chicken hawk. Whatever the fuck it is.
And then told me about Iron Price and their record Big Coffin Hunters based on a Stephen King novel. And then I felt stupid, and then we talked about, and now we're talking about Fago and how
And
I
we got
heard.
plans to meet up at the Dark Carnival.
Oh yeah. Actually, have you seen I know you're a big fan of the memes. Have you seen my favorite one of the Bernie memes is have you seen the one where he has Juggalo makeup?
No.
Where it says I once again asking how fucking magnets work. And it's out of all the ones that they've done, that is by far the best Bernie Sanders meme that they've done out of
First
that.
time I heard that song, I was like, did they just really say fucking magnets? How do they work? Christ. And the thing is, like, I don't know how it is around you, but the juggalos out around me, they're all fucking, like, they're all crazy. Like, they're constantly fighting and stabbing each other and shit. It's just wild. I'm like, then, like, somebody played some of the, like, ICP shit for me. I'm like, and this is the shit that's making these people act like assholes?
Yeah.
It's like, that's fucking mind-blowing, dude. It's mind-blowing.
Well, it's just wild, and the way that you're able to market, because like the first time like I ever like was like 10 years ago when I first watched the first Gathering like commercial, and they make a 20-minute long commercial for their thing. Like it's basically, their commercials are documentaries because they go through the entire lineup from beginning to end for almost a half hour, and then just throw random videos of juggalos screaming into the woods.
That's fucking fantastic.
Well,
A friend of mine's a stand-up comedian, and he actually got asked to do the Gathering of the Juggalos like 2 years ago, but then they ended up like canceling him the last minute.
dude,
I
well,
told him just not to bother coming out.
Well, that was the year. Well, that 10 years ago, that was the year I found out. Like, there were some bands of like that I wouldn't even like. I wouldn't mind seeing like a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Soulfly plays like every fucking year.
Quite a few like good death metal bands play it.
Dude,
Like, they get bands that like I would actually go watch.
yeah, I'm just kind of surprised. Just some of them, I'm like, I'd love to interview like those bands to see what their experience is like, because I know some of them are like, yeah, it's actually pretty fucking cool. Like,
Yeah, like I would go to the Gathering of the Juggalos strictly to people watch.
yeah,
I've seen some crazy shit in my life, but I have a feeling that is just going to be on an entirely different level that I've ever experienced.
Well, a moment of silence for the a moment of silence for the juggalos that have that have left their sanity behind at the gathering, because I'm sure so many brain cells have been lost at those festivals, as well as just like I don't.
If brain cells lost by people that didn't have that many to begin with. Oh yeah, but I've seen videos of people like just doing like nitrous and like all kinds of like huffing glue and shit.
Oh, dude, yeah, like the American Juggalo, like the things that I saw them like. I think I saw some of them drink straight up gasoline in the fucking. I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Oh. I'm telling you, man, the Midwest is a special place.
It really is. Well, some of those bands, I don't know if they do it because they genuinely, love it and love the, the culture. And some of them, probably just do it for the money. Jamie Josta.
Yeah, that part, guy. But I know, like, some shows, like, out in, like, Ohio, you'll see juggalos come out to hardcore shows. Detroit, you'll see, like, juggalos come out to hardcore shows. Like, not a whole lot, but, like, 5 or 6. So there is some crossover. And I know a lot of guys in hardcore around here now that are, like, I guess you call them, like, reformed juggalos, relapse juggalos. I don't know what the hell you want to call it, but, yeah, that's where a lot of people got their start, so there's got to be some crossover appeal.
Oh, no, there definitely is. I know, like, even with, like, and I think it's just all has to do with, like, Midwest roots more than anything, since, like, Eminem and popular fucking hip-hop artists from the Midwest all did kind of cross over with those groups in the 90s. So, like, before it became its own weird, like, fucking cult thing.
I mean, I would not be mad if I found some way for Iron Price to get in with Juggalos and have them come out to see us. I would not be mad at all.
If Iron Price got asked to do the gathering of the Juggalos, would you?
Your fucking ass we'd do it. You bet your ass we would be there in a second. I don't give a shit how much soda they spray on me. I don't care.
Dude, just fucking spray it right back. They'd honestly, I feel like that's like a passing right. Like if they're fucking throwing shit at you, you just throw it fucking like right back.
At like a married couple, when they get married, they throw like the rice at them. I figure that's how juggalos do that. They just spray you down.
Yeah.
But, we got ass. Oh hell yeah! I would do it just to people watch, and I would have stories for years to tell.
Honestly, just go on the fucking stage with ponchos, like, because I'm sure that they'll throw some. I'm sure that you might get some human feces thrown at you.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Has that ever happened to you on stage, though?
Actually, yes.
No way. Okay, I gotta hear it.
Yes.
Tell me the story.
Well, I was in a band before Iron Price called Dead and Buried. This was maybe 04, 05, and we played a show with a band called the Bad Luck 13 Ride Extravaganza. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're from Philly.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard people say stuff they've played. I know they've played This Is Hardcore, and
yeah.
I've heard the lore and people talk about them, but I don't know as much about them.
Hellfest shut down.
Yeah, I've heard they've done. There's been crazy shit that happens at those shows. I just don't know that much from never really experiencing East Coast hardcore at all.
We played with them down in Virginia. I think it wasn't Richmond. Yeah, it was Richmond's place. This metal bar called Jack's. And Bad Luck was doing, like, throwing each other through tables, like, eating glass and all kinds of weird shit. But there was, like, these weird local methed out metalheads at the show. And one of them had just shit himself, like, in the middle of, like, the floor. Like, everybody standing around.
No.
Straight shit his pants. And everybody was just like, dude, you shit your pants, go to the bathroom. And he wouldn't leave before. And he was extremely drunk, extremely high on various drugs. He eventually just fell on his ass and just decided to lay there. And lay there with just a pants full of shit. And eventually he just started putting his hand down the back of his pants and just pulling it out.
Oh, no.
And just throwing it all around. And I got some across the front of my jeans.
No!
Yeah. And I was like, God damn it.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, so finished the set, went to the bathroom, took my pants off, fucking ran them under the sink, and then took them and draped them across the hood of the van so they could dry off. And I spent the rest of the show just walking around on my boxers.
So, yeah.
I had shit thrown at me by an adult.
That's so rough. Fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. I think only a straight up hardcore show would I not expect that to happen. I can expect that at a Juggalo event 100%. Next is any metal or like crust event. I can in a crusty ass place, I could see something like that happening.
Bro, crusty shows are pretty disgusting.
Dude, they might be on par with Juggalos at some points.
I've been to crust punk shows in Philadelphia where the smell in there, and it wasn't like a shit smell. It was like everybody's body odor at once smell, and it's in a squat, just like an apartment, and it's just like it was so bad. You walked in, you immediately had to turn around and walk out because it just like that vinegary, and it starts burning your eyes and shit. You just got to get out of the venue. It's disgusting. Ugh.
Like
that's the worst. But it smells like just balls, dreadlocks, and just dog shit. It's just terrible.
Oh yeah. Because there was like a time about I would say this is almost 4 years ago. Like the Northwest was basically Pacific Northwest was basically operating on house venues alone, and and in Portland most of them were pretty packed, but it was primarily a crust crowd. I played a show with my band. We were touring down the coast, and this crusty lady was asking over and over again if she could do merch for us tonight. I was like, she's super crusty, dirty. And I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I don't fucking know you. And I was like, I'll think about it. And then I go to the bathroom and she's sitting there going through our fucking merch, she was trying to like open our lockbox. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And like, and she gets mad, and she was like, okay, I'm sorry. And then she asks my friend for some Coke, and we were like, we don't have any fucking Coke. And I was like, we were all fucking straight edge, and we were like, and then all of a sudden she gets mad, rages out, and then she fucking slams the gate, this gate into our front, like this wooden gate with it had like a little metal spiky part. It fucking smashed straight into my friend's face, and we had to take them to the fucking hospital because it got right below the fucking eye. So I don't trust crusties. End of the story. I pissed me the fuck off because I was like, she got mad, slammed a gate in someone's face because we said no to Coke.
That's the thing. It sucks because like Philly, like the crusty shows occasionally would get like, because I really like grind and stuff like that. So I would go to these shows to see those bands, and 9 times out of 10, you'd be there 5 minutes, you just get super fucking annoyed and go home. It was just, ugh. And a lot of them weren't even really like homeless kids or anything like that. There's a bunch of rich kids that decided to be dirtballs to be part of that little scene. It's like, so they'd be like dumpster diving and shit, but then they would just get in the car and go home. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Or they purposely just leave their families just to knowing that they have a backup plan, so they fuck up as much as possible until they decide. So they go out and fuck up as much as possible until they were like, all right, I'm done. I'll go home.
Yeah, they're dirtballs on the weekends, and then Monday mornings they just go back to school. Go back to college. It's like,
oh fuck. So let's talk music. Let's talk Iron Price. So let's talk about the band name. Because when I think Iron Price, I think Game of Thrones. Is there any other?
That's exactly where it's from.
Okay, exactly. I think you have. Don't you have a GOT? They're in. I think you have a clip from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. Okay. On the record, it's from what the fuck. See, I'm not a big Game of Thrones guy myself. Like, I watched the first 2 seasons, but it was way too much brother-sister fucking in it for me, so I had to stop. But, like, our guitar player, he's super huge into it. And,
went into incest? He's
both. Nah, but he kept watching the show. I was like, this is too crazy for me. And, yeah, so he's like, I got this clip I want to use. It's that, I think it's a Ramsey or something like that. It's one of his torture scenes in like one of the later seasons of Game of Thrones. So I want to use it. I'm like, all right, then we're going to use it. But yeah, we got it from a quote from the very first season of Game of Thrones, where they were talking about how a king either earns his crown with the gold price, aka being a rich kid, or be the iron price by using your sword and stuff. Like, that sounds pretty fucking cool. So that's why we went with that one.
Oh yeah, no, I loved the whole like idea. So like, even though like in the as far as like the movie part, like I mean the show part, the most of the Iron Islands and then they get fucked over and they get fucked in the end. But like I loved all that whole like family, that whole area of the Game of Thrones. Specifically, I liked Ramses as well because he was fucking. He was a fucking shit. He is a piece of shit, but like he was a maniacal piece of shit.
One of the last episodes I watched, he cut a dude's dick off.
Yeah, no, that's and it. He kept doing shit like that over, like, and he. If I won't spoil it for you. But he ends up getting the way it ends with that story. He gets what he fucking deserves. Let's just we'll leave it at that.
He deserves a spin-off series of him just cutting people's dicks off. I'd watch that shit. See, I can watch a dude getting his dick cut off all day, but when it comes to like incest and shit, I get creeped out. I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
What if the people committing incest get their dicks cut off?
Oh, fuck, my nose just started bleeding. I think you hurt me. Oh.
Whoops.
Like, I just stopped watching it, and then, like, everybody's like, oh, you stopped just as it was getting even better. I just never got around to picking it up and watching it again. No, and then everybody's like, oh, the last season sucks, and now I kind of don't want to watch it again. But all the other guys in the band watch every fucking season. They love that show.
I agree. For Game of Thrones, the last season, it really ended at the big battle episode like that they did. They did one like, so there was like, I think it was 6 episodes and like, or no, there was 8 episodes and like by the 6th one was the big battle scene. And then the 2 episodes after that really just like were shit.
I just figured it would end with everybody dying.
Most people died, and then they're just like, the people that were left alive went to go do whatever the fuck else, I guess. Their
sisters got some dicks off.
Well, for some of the people in the story, they just basically literally just go back to doing the shit that they did before the show started. And I was just like, wow, that's fucking anticlimactic, man. You go through all that shit.
everybody I worked with was pissed off because the girl Arya got naked in one of the last season episodes. They're like, that's just fucking weird, man. I'm like, you realize that girl's like 25 now, right? Like that show's been on like forever. It's like, yeah, she was young when that show started, but now she's like in her 20s, man. I mean,
mid 20s now. Like,
yeah,
and she's. I think it's maybe because she still kind of has like a kid looking face, and she's like naturally short.
yeah.
So like I get it, because I know some people who are like some people that look the same age as they were in high school and haven't aged. Also, they're not very like big at all. So, and they hadn't gotten bigger or taller. So it's like, I get it. It's a little weird.
They're like, oh, it's almost like kiddie porn. I'm like, oh man, she's like 25 or so. I think it's okay. I'm pretty sure if it was kiddie porn, HBO wouldn't be showing it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're not going to throw away their empire just so you can see a kid tit. I mean, it's like, get over it.
They know how to cross they can cross lines, but they know what the lines that they can never come back from. They know
they're not going to fucking shit on their money. They're not idiots.
Absolutely. So let's go into Big Coffin Hunters. Let's go into the music. Right off the bat, I get the first track takes cues from Snapcase for me. Like
Biggest
specific
source.
What? Specific
Wow. Huge fan of them.
Yeah, I said, like, first track, a little bit of Snapcase, a little bit of Glassjaw, as well as, not vocally, of course, but instrumentally.
Never listened to that band.
You said never?
I've never listened to Glassjaw. I know of them. I know who they are, and I've actually met some of the people, but I've just never sat down and listened to them. But that first song, like, obviously not the intro song, like the first real song, yeah, like, there's a lot of Snapcase in that. Like, Helmet is a real big influence on us. And there's a lot of that in there. So, I'm pretty sure, that's probably where most of that comes from. But yeah, as far as Glassjaw, I don't know, Matt, our guitar player, writes all the music. Like, I don't know if he's a fan or not, but I've never actually listened to that band. I think I've seen them. That's the sad part.
Well, I think that's a band like you either hate or you love. Like, there's no in between for that band because it's because of where it lies in music in general. I know hardcore kids love it. Like, weird progressive rock people love it. And I feel like there's no real in between because of just like, there's not too many bands. There's really, and at the time Glassjaw came out, there was literally 0 bands that sounded like Glassjaw.
Well, there was a time, I don't remember if it was late 90s, early 2000s, they played a lot of hardcore shows in this area. Like, a lot of them. Like there would be, like, monthly on, like, a hardcore show within, like a couple miles radius from me. Like, 'cause I live right between Philadelphia and Baltimore. Like, so they played, like, hardcore shows all around this area, like, for a good long while. And then I heard they just got big and then, were doing better stuff with themselves. But I never actually sat down and listened to them. Like, I've met a few of the dudes, and they're really nice, so I can't say anything bad about them. But, yeah, I know a lot of people do. But yeah, there's definitely some Snapcase influence in this band. Yeah, we're all like dudes who came up in the '90s, so yeah, definitely a lot of Snapcase love.
Yeah, no, I can definitely. It's that influence shines through. But what would you say are some vocal cues, or some cues that you take from for your music, for what you do in the band?
Oh, like influence wise?
Yeah.
I think my biggest influence vocally is Dead Guy. Like, that to me is like my favorite. That's my favorite hardcore band of all time. So like the first Dead Guy LP lyrically they're 7 inches, and then they started a band called Kiss It Goodbye that was actually they actually were out by your area, like Washington and like Northern California area. Like that's like my main focus, and lyrically a lot of my influence, it's mostly from stuff that's not hardcore related.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to a lot of stuff like the Cardigans and like the Cranberries and stuff like that. When like for like lyrical like stuff like that, I listen to like sad music like that. Because, you know, it's not that like I have any problem with hardcore lyrically, it's just that, you know, how many more songs do you really need about loyalty and how much you love your friends and stuff. So I figured I'd go the more depressing route. But vocally, yeah, I'm definitely a huge Dead Guy fan and a huge Napalm Death fan. Early Rollins band stuff is really big for me, and just stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. And I mean, there's a couple other things here and there, but for the most part, I'd say mostly vocally, it's Dead Guy and Napalm Death, and the lyrically stuff like, you know, like the Sundays, the Cardigans, and stuff like that.
I can definitely see that. I think it's important to like I think it's really easy when like developing your vocal style if you're not like if you weren't a writer off the bat. Like it's easy to really fall into those I guess cliches of hardcore and just talk about whatever hardcore kids talk about at the time, or like you can easily be like, oh, I can just talk about politics, or I can just talk about unity. Like, so
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think there's enough of it that I don't need to add to it.
Yeah, and like if you're really dead set on it, fucking by all means, do it. Go for it.
All about, go for it. I mean, that's great. But, you know, I just, you know, I was like, you know, there's enough people talking about that. And I also play in a death metal band, so I do all my politics go into that band. That's a political band. And this one here is more of a personal one. And so I normally just go through shit that I actually, you know, that I actually go through. It's like depression, anxiety, and just stuff like that. Like, that's what I choose to sing about, because, you know, it's what I know. Like, I don't really know much about positivity. I don't really know shit about, like, unity, brotherhood, all that other stuff. You know, it doesn't really have a connection for me. So if I were to sing about stuff like that, it would just come off, like, fake. And, like, I can't go down the route of, like, the fake devil worship, I want to be integrity stuff either, because, you know, I don't know anything about that stuff either, so if I were to go down that route, it would just be a bunch of nonsense to me to do that. So I pretty much pick lyrical topics of, you know, what I experience and what I know about, and mostly it's sad and depressing shit for that, because it's, you know, it's kind of like a little form of therapy. But
I think that's extremely important though, because this fucking life, this fucking world that we've been thrown into is such bullshit. There's so much fucking stupid shit. And I think in some ways, I think it's good to have, you know, some positivity and not be like down on yourself and whine all the time.
Yeah.
But like, and I like some positive hardcore bands. But I think sometimes you can't look at everything through rose-tinted glasses. And like, I feel like sometimes because I grew up religious, and I felt like after I got out of religion, I felt the same type of high, like the fake high I got from, you know, from church and shit. I got from positive hardcore bands telling me, you know, persevere, never give up, do this and that. Your friends always got your back, shit like that. Like, and that's
those are important messages. Those are definitely important messages too. But I actually think both messages are important side by side too, because you have like what I do, the more depression type stuff, and that can show people that hear your music that there's people just that are depressed just like them, that are going through similar shit just like them, and then you have your positive band and say, hey, you may have gone through some depressing shit, but hey, why don't you try the positive mental attitude or thinking this way to help you feel like get better or, get through your tough times. So I think both messages are equally important. Because like the negativity and the depression and stuff, people can identify with it, but the positivity also can help you in giving you a different avenue to go down. Like even if you are depressed, you can go down and listen to those more positive bands like that, and it could be uplifting for you. So I think both have their place and both are beneficial and both are important. It's just not something I choose to sing about. Other bands, I like a lot of bands who sing about that stuff. It's great, but just to be truthful to myself, I go down the road I go down, and I save the positivity for the guys who, are better at that. But I think they're both equally important, and both can get across to the same people.
And I think what you're saying is important too, just because there's a lot of people and a lot of kids who feel awkward and can't talk about that shit, who've gone through shit. A lot of people who go to these spaces have lived through and gone through shit that are just hard to talk about. So for the most part, they try to not not talk about it at all.
Yeah, they're going to shows and listening to bands as an escape.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm sure this whole thing we do, the hardcore thing, everybody's got a bit of a screw loose. Everybody's got their situation. I think even the really positive people involved in hardcore, I don't think they started off as extremely positive people. They probably started off as miserable people, but decided to embrace positivity, to help themselves. So I think everybody that eventually comes into hardcore has something missing, and that's why everybody kind of gloms together. And then either, they identify with the negative stuff, the more depressing stuff. He's like, hey, this guy's going through the same shit I am. Or they're like, hey, I want to follow this guy, this positive guy here, because it seems to be working for him. Maybe it can work for me. And everybody's just, looking for something to attach themselves to and to identify with and to, so it both are good messages to have. And, everybody that comes into hardcore, but I don't think any super genuinely happy all the time person finds hardcore. And if they do, that's kind of weird. It's I don't know if this is where you really want to be. I think maybe ska or something might be where you want to go.
No, I'm sorry, but I don't care who you are. I'm not sending you to fucking Ska Town. No one.
Maybe you should be skanking it up in a suit in 90-degree weather. But yeah, I think they come in miserable, but then the positivity it kind of helps them get through their miserable times, which is always a good thing.
And so it's cool. So do people get so you have a distinct internet presence as far as Instagram is concerned. We just became Facebook friends, so I don't know if you post there, because
not really, because I have family members on there.
Oh, I got you. I know.
The conversations you don't I'll post a picture of Kermit the Frog with a super hard dick, and the last thing you want is your aunt saying, "So why did you post Kermit the Frog with a hard on?" And you can't say, "Well, Aunt Pat, it's for the lulz." You can't say shit like that. So just to avoid those conversations, Facebook, it's just pretty much show flyers, and that's pretty much it. But Instagram. Yeah, that's when all bets are off.
I completely understand. Fuck. why? Why you got Kermit with a rock hard dick?
Which is fucking hilarious to me.
Oh God,
But,
no!
my mother doesn't find it funny.
I always know I know it's distinctly you every time, like scrolling and just looking because I'll see show flyer, and then I'll see something that completely fucking throws me off. Like, what the fuck is this?
If it makes absolutely no sense, it's probably something for me.
Yeah, there's some of it has no like fucking rhyme or reason, and I'm just like,
Well, I used to do that shit on like Facebook, and then like I would get calls from my mother, like, and she's like, "Would you explain this to me?" Like, she wanted to know why I thought it was funny, and like, try to explain to anyone, let alone your mother, why like certain things are funny is like it's futile. It's just gonna give you a headache.
like, like I don't want to get the fucking whiteboard out, Mom.
And another reason I would always avoid Facebook is because Facebook is too many people posting just random thoughts and shit that I don't care about. And like even people like I'm friends with, like they'll post like just random like this is what I think about, the DMV. And I'm like, oh, shut up. I don't fucking care. So Instagram is just pictures.
Like
There's no political opinion attached to it. There's no racist grandmas. It's just like
it's literally Luigi holding pointing a gun to my face, telling me to eat the brown part of a banana.
And I giggle myself like almost sick, like looking at those pictures. I'm in hysterics. And then, people look like, what the fuck's so funny? And I'll show them, and they'll just look like, why? Like, why is that funny? Why does he have a gun? Why does he want you to eat the brown part of the banana? And I don't have a good answer to that. I just know it makes me laugh.
I tell them to shut the fuck up. I tell them to just fucking relax. This is like what I like. Life's too fucking short. I'm just like, I'm here to have a good fucking time. None of this is like, it's all fucking stupid. Post some stupid shit. Say some stupid shit. As long as it's not fucking, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Like, you have freedom of speech as long as you're not being a complete fucking asshole. And I'll let you know if you're being a complete fucking asshole.
Yeah. Facebook, I just avoided too. Just like, cause like my mom would always be like, well, this could keep you from posting stuff like this can keep you from getting jobs. I'm like, Mom, I have 3 jobs. That's not an issue. Or she always thought I was on like tons of drugs because of how random stuff was. And like, I've never been like a heavy drug user ever. Like, only drugs I do is I'll occasionally do edibles, and that's every once in a blue moon. But she's like, oh, what's that, some drug humor? I'm like, no, it's just, Luigi with a big set of tits. And that's hilarious.
I'm fucking down. I'm just like, who gives a fuck? It breaks up the monotony of life. Like,
yeah. And you don't have to read anybody else's opinions on it, so it's just pictures.
Yeah.
So it's just show flyers, pictures of my dogs, and then random fucking memes that make me laugh like constantly.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I work like in the bar industry, so that shit doesn't affect anyone. Like my bosses post that shit. Like, they don't give a shit.
I mean, I work as a butcher and a janitor. I don't think it's going to affect me.
No, you're good.
I post dudes fucking dinosaurs.
You're posting shit. You're cleaning up shit.
I'm cutting up dead animals for a fucking living. It's like, hey, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get fired from that if I post, Sonic the Hedgehog taking a piss on someone. It's like, and if I do, I got marketable skills. I'll just go to some other labor job.
Have you had somebody who is vegan in a hardcore band come up and talk to you about your occupation?
No, because it's normally like one thing I don't do on social media is I don't post like pictures of me from work. because I like to keep my work life and what I do outside of work separate.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people I work with don't even know I make music at all. So I just keep that shit as separate as possible. But a few people, not in the last few years, no one really takes issue with it. But like I've been a butcher for 24 years, and like in like the early 2000s, late 90s, when I first started really doing it, people did take issue when they found out what I did for a living. But that's back when people were really fucking uptight. You know, it was a real, like here on the East Coast, like the vegans were really in your face.
They're fucking uptight about everything. Straight edge veganism, all that shit.
Yeah, but the last like decade or plus, you know, they're still. It's not like these people are any less into their beliefs, but they're not as pushy.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt from the band, like my fucking best friend in the entire world, is a straight edge vegan. You know, so, and he never takes issue with anything that I've done. You know.
That, and
Some
I am
people
too.
do, but I don't care.
Yeah. I'm vegan straight edge too, and I'm just like everybody, like I'm not pushy. It's just like it's the same way anything that I've ever like been a part of in my life, I'm like it's all about kind of like a personal journey and making life better for yourself and the people around you. So it's just like, so I'm like, I'm not going to tell a motherfucker how to live.
And I've never been like the other way around. Like I've never been like, oh, you're a pussy, you don't eat meat. Like, first off, like I don't really advertise that I am a butcher. Like someone asks me, I'll tell them, but it's not like I go around like, guess what, Mr. Vegan, I cut up animals for a living. You know, and most level-headed vegans are like, they know that I'm not running around the woods killing random animals.
The true infamous butcher.
Yeah, you know, they know that like I'm working at a supermarket and what I'm cutting up is feeding people and my family and stuff. Like they know that I'm not like hunting or like poaching in Africa or anything like that. And like I'm not in your face about it, and so it's never really a big deal. But some of the more uptight people used to get really like bent out of shape. Like I used to book shows in the late 90s, early 2000s, and like I would like I made really good money. I made really good money cutting meat, and that's what I would use. You know, if my turnout sucked and I needed to pay the bands out of pocket, you know, that's what I would pay them out was for my meat cutting job. And a few bands found out about what I did for a living because a local vegan kid just narked me out about it.
Oh,
and they would refuse to play my shows because of that.
Fuck
They didn't
off.
want my bloody hand money going to them.
Bloody hand,
like,
bloody hand money.
I mean, I'm like, I get it. If it bothers you that much that you don't want to play, that's your prerogative, and that's fine. But I'm like, first off, money's disgusting anyway. Some other dirtbags touched that money before I got my hands on it. It's like
exactly.
There's no way you can really go in the world right now and not have some money with some shit behind it, you know. But
exactly,
it hasn't really been an issue like the past 15 years or so. Anyway, like no one really cares.
Absolutely,
everybody kind of they have their beliefs and they understand that other people aren't doing the same. People are a lot more open-minded around here. I'm sure they are on the West Coast too, but you know,
yeah,
in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was an issue sometimes. They have no problem with me being a janitor, though. Like they don't. Like,
I don't think. Yeah, if they do, then there's fucking somebody's like anti, like fucking. Yeah, that'd be fucking stupid.
like the only time I understood it being an issue was I was booking a show and I had to leave straight from work to go to the venue to open it up for the bands to come through. And the band was actually 18 Visions.
Okay.
This was, I think, 01 or 02. And I had a pair of my work boots on. They had dried blood stains on it. And they're like, is that blood stains on your boots? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, why? I'm like, oh, I cut meat at a supermarket. And their drummer at the time got real bent out of shape about it.
And that's...
like, and I was like, hey, man, like, sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I do for a living, and that's how I'm afforded to put these shows on. So do with that information what you will, and then he just kind of just left it alone, and they played, and it was fun, and everything was good. But yeah.
Yeah, whatever. They can go. I mean, you could have just said, "Hey, go sell out somewhere," and then they would have. Then they were gonna eventually do it.
What they did though, they did something really fucking funny that night though. I had to let them in the venue. They were on tour, but they were like 3 hours earlier than when the show started. You know, they just got it down early and wanted to know if they get into the venue, just to drop their shit off and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come by right after work and let you in, and I did. And they're like, well, what is there to do in this town, while we wait for the show to start? I was like, well, there's a mall about 10 miles north here. And they're like, all right, cool. So they went to this mall, and then I came back to the venue later, to actually start the show. And they show up, and it's the band, one of the roadies, and about 20 teenage girls. I'm talking like 14 to 16-year-old girls. And they just follow them in. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this about? And their singer just goes, we convinced them we're Incubus.
What?
I fucking fell out. I laughed so goddamn hard.
No way! I can't even picture that. Is this before the band went all kind of fashion Corey?
Started going with different colored hair and an eyeliner and shit. They had just really started doing that, looking getting all glammed out and stuff. So these fucking girls, they sat through 4 opening bands and were kind of just what's going on here? And and then 18 Visions headlined, and as soon as they start playing, these girls got fucking pissed. And they come up to me, they're like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, this is 18 Visions from California. They told us we were Incubus. I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. We want our money back. I was like, no refunds. And they just and then they went out front, and they had to wait for one of their moms to pick them up.
That's so funny.
That's fucking great.
That's a good fucking story. That.
They came through the door with all these teenage girls behind. I'm like, oh, this is going to be really creepy, and I don't know if I like this. And then he was like, yo, we convinced them we're Incubus. I was like, all right, you went from being creeps to being the funniest fucking people I've ever met in my life. That's great. And just the look on these girls' faces when they finally started playing, because they were still super heavy at this point, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Dude,
just watching them bum out.
I wonder if those girls still remember that at this time, or if they ever caught them when they got to their commercial phase and be like, I remember this fucking band.
I hope the whole situation made them actually hate Incubus, even though they weren't even involved. It made them lose their love of Incubus.
That's so funny.
That's funny shit right there.
Gosh.
So they went from being annoying for bugging me about my bloody boots to being my favorite people. I'm like, that is just hysterical.
That's fucking beautiful. Well, Dennis, we're about out of time. Thank you so much for
thanks for having me, man.
Talking shit with me. Any last things you'd like to say before we get out of here?
If people are looking for new bands to check out, they should check out a band called Choking Sands from Northern Virginia. If you're into old Napalm Death and Ringworm and Integrity, there's some really awesome stuff. Check out our new record, Big Coffin Hunters, out on Upstate Records. And if you're into death metal, I am also in a death metal band called Cancer Priest, who has 2 EPs up on Bandcamp. And thanks so much for having me, man. I really appreciate your support, bud.
Hell yeah. Hopefully we can get some West Coasters into some more East Coast hardcore.
Absolutely, dude. That'd be awesome.
Awesome. So I will talk to you. I'll talk to you soon, my man, and we're going to get back to some music.
I'll see you on the Instagram, baby.
Yeah, I know I will see you on the Instagram at some point, probably tonight.
Most likely.
All right. Keep shit posting, my friend, and rock on.
I am currently shitting, and I will soon be posting.
All right. Well, on that note, talk to you later, my man.
Take it easy, brother.
All right. Bye.
What's up, you sorry motherfuckers? This is another Moshbot reminder to follow Deadair on Facebook at facebook.com/DeadairHardcoreRadio and both Instagram and Twitter at DeadairNWCZ. Do it before I crowd kill your entire fucking family while whining about people not supporting the scene enough.
There's a war going on in my head. This is pure mental bloodshed. I see them making my dead man. This is fucking mental bloodshed.
All right. Yeah. Shout out to Dennis and Iron Price. If you like upstate bands and like the sounds that Iron Price are doing, do it. Do it up. Lots of fucking East Coast shit on that label. Lots of heavy shit. We're always doing upstate. And a lot of people are too these days. So check it out. If you don't know about it, then wake up. I don't know. Wake up, guy. Anyways, almost done. Almost the fuck out of here. Maybe I'll go get some sleep. Who fucking knows? So, thank you for listening to the show. Check out deadairhardcoreradio.com. It has literally everything from the places that we stream, all our live syndicates. Thank you for everyone who plays us out there in Radio Land. Also for our Spotify, and that's updated weekly, as well as the Anchor FM. More to come. There's going to be one week where I finally be like, it's finally fucking happening, and it's happened. But that's not this week. Also, Instagram and Twitter at DeadAirNWCZ, and finally, Facebook. Facebook.com/DeadAirHardcoreRadio. So, I guess we're going to end with talking about the music. So we started off. So we played 2 tracks from Big Coffin Hunters, Whoop Whoop. Iron Price's new record. We played JEC MRS. After that, we played new music from a band called Life's Torment. A lot of it got a big skate punk vibe, with the kind of metal, not exactly Suicidal Tendencies exact, but definitely takes cues from that specific genre. Fast, thrashy, to the point, no fucking filler, just gets the job fucking done. I can't skate worth shit. I've always said that, and I'm always not. If I could, that it makes me envision. It puts me in a skate simulation of sorts, or I could just play some fucking Tony Hawk. I haven't played Tony Hawk in a hot minute, and I want to get some stuff for my N64 that has been just sitting in the closet for a long time. So check it out. Life's Torment, the self-proclaimed as hardcore skate violence, grind punk. There's definitely some power violence in these songs as well. So, band located out of Las Vegas / Los Angeles. So a little bit of traveling from all over the Southwest of the United States. After that track, so we did play Caution to the Wind. I don't remember if I said that. But we played Caution in the Wind by Life's Torment. After that, we played a band called Everything Ends from Flanders, Belgium. Music, don't fuck up on me. Did we... Come on. Where's the music? Okay, there we go. This laptop is... I mean, this desktop can be so weird and laggy. Anyways, Everything Ends from Flanders, Belgium. More... This week, we're definitely giving it to the moshers. We're definitely giving it to... This week is definitely ridden with metal and more beatdown. I've strayed away for a little bit, and I wanted to throw y'all moshers a fucking bone. But with some stuff I genuinely do like, and people I genuinely wanted to talk to for this episode. But death metal with some beatdown. Like I said, I like the low quality recording. It was DIY and self-recorded, and that's my favorite type of beatdown. I've said it in previous episodes that if I'm going to be listening to this, I want to listen to it as if I'm at the show myself, because this is a live experience to just get the fuck up and get wild. Yet I'm not fucking getting wild. I'm watching everybody else do it. So check this out, a EP by Everything Ends, self-titled, and we played Mental Bloodshed. And then we're going to end it with some music from One Down, another band that I forgot. I don't mean to be like that, but 2 years ago we did do our first Dead Air compilation, and I think it's about time to get a second one out there. I know on the last episode we talked about the Dog Years comp. I think I want to wait for the Dog Years comp to drop, since to not like oversaturate with compilations out there in the world of hardcore. But I definitely want to get... It's by the time I probably get one out, it'll be almost like over 2 years by that point. So I definitely want to get something out and get some different bands on the comp that definitely no other compilation is putting out. I think I got some ideas, but we'll keep you posted for the future. So we're gonna play One Down, which was that, like I said, they were on that first comp, and they have new music out currently, all for free. I might add some more new free music, so check it out. They're from Manchester, UK. Beatdown through and through with a modern beatdown sound. And like I said, for a more clean cut beatdown sound, the UK is like where you want to listen to it. This is the type, as much as like stuff from the US doesn't really do it for me, especially if it's super like too polished for the recording quality. But there's something about everyone in Europe, UK, and surrounding areas that they can do it in a way that satisfies those needs. So their new record is titled Hell Is to Dwell. We played the second track off the LP, titled Try Hard. 15 tracks, like I said, all for free, so there's no reason not to listen to it. And if you like it, it's perfect, a whole record to add on to your laptop or device. I don't know how you really like how people do it anymore with all the streaming services and how they want to do their physical music. Me, I have a backlog because I have a radio show. I don't know what the casual listener does. Send me an email, deadairnwcz@gmail.com. answer that question for me if you have the answer, or just let me know on some sort of platform. I think what do we got for time? I think that is about the perfect time to end it. Thanks for listening. Catch y'all next week.